Let us move on into the next side of the album, Swordfish Trombones. Where we had left off, we're going to take the next two tracks here, as they're relatively short, and that's going to be Just Another Sucker on the Vine, Calling Yourself a Grape, and then Frank's Wild Years. Isn't Frank's Wild Years one of his other albums? I think that you guys have mentioned that. I'm going to check that really quick. 10th studio album by Tom Waits. That was released in 1987. This is his eighth. Okay, so kind of a precursor in a sense, then, perhaps in some ways. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive straight on into it. We'll let these two tracks run together. I can't imagine why not. Like I said, they're only a little above a minute long. So here we go. It's like a sad little drunken jazz piece. This is definitely it. After the party has left. That really felt like just a drunken little jazz shanty on the side of the port as you're overlooking the waters, just wondering where she went.
Frank settled down out in the valley, and he hung his wild years on a nail that he drove through his wife's forehead.
Okay.
He sold used office furniture out there on San Fernando Road and assumed a $30,000 loan at 15.25%, put a down payment on a little two-bedroom place. His wife was a spent piece of used jet trash, made good Bloody Marys, kept her mouth shut most of the time, had a little chihuahua named Carlos that had some kind of skin disease and was totally blind. They had a thoroughly modern kitchen, self-cleaning oven, the whole bit. Frank drove a little sedan. They were so happy. One night, Frank was on his way home from work. He stopped at the liquor store, picked up a couple of Mickey's Big Mouths, drank them in the car on the way to the Shell station. Got a gallon of gas in a can. Drove home, doused everything in the house, and torched it. Parked across the street laughing, watching it burn, all Halloween orange and chimney red. And Frank put on a top 40 station, got on the Hollywood freeway and headed north. Never could stand that dog.
So some wild years. Yeah, I would define those as some wild years. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, with Just Another Sucker on the Vine, just a little instrumental. Like I said, I couldn't help but think of someone sitting on the docks at late at night, and there's some jazz band that's playing their last song behind this poor sap of man, this poor grape of a man, as he just watches, the night close out basically, and it's a sad little drunken affair. That's what I feel from Another Sucker on the Vine, and perhaps he's literally another sucker of the vine, and maybe he's drinking some wine or something. And like I said, it just has a kind of sad, drunk, inebriated kind of feel to it. Frank's Wild Years, we get Tom poetically speaking over here. He's kind of hitting that side of his repertoire. And you get a nice little bluesy jazz band, once again, kind of playing laid back in there. I really like the organ and the way the bass is kind of keeping time, keeping rhythm here. And he's just speaking of these wild years. And they do seem quite wild. They do seem like a bit. Well, Frank settled down out in the valley, and he hung his wild years on a nail that he drove through his wife's forehead. Okay. He sold used office furniture out there in San Fernando Road and assumed a $30,000 loan at 15.25%. Put a down payment on a little 2-bedroom place. His wife was a spent piece of used jet trash. Made good old Bloody Marys. Kept her mouth shut most of the time. Had a little chihuahua named Carlos that had some kind of skin disease and was totally blind. They had a thoroughly modern kitchen, self-cleaning oven, the whole bit. He drove a little sedan. They were happy. One night, Frank was on his way home from work, stopped at the liquor store, picked up a couple Mickey's Big Mouths, drank him in the car on his way to the Shell station, got a gallon of gas in a can, drove home, doused everything in the house, torched it, parked across the street laughing, watching it burn, all Halloween orange and chimney red. Then he put a top 40 station on, got on the Hollywood freeway, and headed north. Never could stand that dog. Well, I suppose that's one way to abdicate yourself from life and move on into wherever the future and the freeway is going to take you. Probably not the best way, probably not the recommended way, but I suppose that's one way too. Yeah. So my question is this his wild years, or are his wild years ahead of him in where he's going to be going after this little event? So you never know. So I wonder, the album Frank's Wild Years, I wonder if that's obviously it's based off of this in name, but do you think that the concept of that album continues on from this story, and maybe that's where it kind of goes? It kind of expands on this. I'm looking really quick to see if I could find that. Okay, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page here. I'm not going to read too much, but per Steve Hockman, Rags to Rags Tale completes the trilogy that began in 1983, featuring the song Frank's Wild Years, in which the protagonist tortures his SoCal house. Yep. The story basically follows Frank on a hazy, ill-fated Orphic journey straight to the top of Vegas. One song more that early on doesn't hit home till the end. So, with a quick read through, seems like perhaps, yes, in some capacity, yes. You let me know what you guys thought of these two tracks in the comments down below. A couple quick ones on this one, but next time we'll actually hit the title track of the album. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.